gentlemen, fans of all ages, welcome to the first episode of Fans, or a little bit of a return, I might say, where you, the fan, can compete. I'm your host, Ash Benny, and I'm here with my boy Chris. Say what's up.
Beautiful big nitty. Oh man, I messed up. Anyway, what's up, y'all?
You had one shot. You had one shot, but it's all
I
good.
know, and I missed my chance to blow. This
It's
opportunity
all
came once
good.
in a lifetime.
It's all good. But how are you doing today?
I'm good. Yo, it's like almost 80 degrees outside. The sun is shining. I am hydrated, and we got fans back. So it's like a good occasion.
Oh, nice. So it's the exact opposite for me. It's raining.
Word,
It's cold.
word,
I was fighting with my puppy for the last hour. Like
word.
it was a chill day up until the last hour. I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened, y'all. But
Hey,
yeah,
hey.
yeah. But it is what it is. It is what it is. But
I'm
welcome.
not gonna hold you. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. But welcome to a new season. Today we're going to introduce ourselves and a few segments. So I feel like it would be a really, really good way to start is talk about like our music tastes. So I'll let you
Ooh.
go first and just tell me what your background with music is, your relationship to music, and some of your favorite artists.
Um, Favorite. Oh, wow. Okay. So I love pretty much like all genres in a broad spectrum, subgenres. We can get more nuance, but like all genres for sure. My Spotify, I got like playlists for like rock with a ton of classic rock. I got my favorite playlist, which is my car playlist, and that's a mix of R&B, Afro beats. It's got rap in there. I
Oh,
got my playlist called Peth, which is pop, electronic, techno, and house. I got a
okay.
classical because I'm a classically trained trumpet player. And
Dope.
yeah, I've been playing trumpet for like going on 24 years this year. Like I be listening to it all, the funk, like all that. I love polka specifically when it comes in the form of they only speak in Spanish and it's Mexican folks because they be having
Okay,
them
okay.
accordions slapping. That's like
Mm-hmm.
that's polka with a little bit of soul.
Yeah.
Uh Dang, what else? I swear I for real, I be like rocking with all of it. Like it be something that just hey, if it work, it work.
I love that. And what are some of your favorite artists?
One of my favorite rappers, which is evident by my Spotify list, Dom Kennedy.
Okay.
Dom
Okay.
Kennedy super chilled, laid back, is like realistic. It's like, hey, this ain't super obnoxious. Everybody talking about a Beamer because it's like, look, let's not a Beamer, but like a Bentley or a
Yeah.
Maybach or something. It's like, let's be real. This ain't like attainable for a lot of us. But like he just like a real cool dude, bring a lot of vibes. Been heavy on Larry June lately. Favorite rapper all time is probably Jay-Z. Um,
Okay.
you know, some
I
other
feel you.
favorite artists when it comes to like house. Um, I'm a huge fan of Tiesto. I like David Guetta for sure.
Yeah.
Dead Mouse goes super hard.
Dope.
Uh, let's see. Why I forget my name? My man's name, Gavin.
I know exactly who you're talking about.
Yeah,
I know exactly
and
who
I
you're
almost
talking
said
about.
Gavin Newsom, like that wasn't my former governor. I mean former mayor, but like you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, like yeah,
Yeah.
now trying to think. Yeah, it's like you be knowing all the answers, but then you get put on the spot and you ain't got the answers no
You're
more.
like, I know that's I literally had to write down all of my like the people I listen to on a week to week basis because me and my husband were talking about it. He was like, you also listen
Yeah,
to this person. You also love this person. And I was like, wow, like I listen, like I spread my my time across so many different artists. So I completely understand where you're coming
so
from.
let's do it like this. I'll make it super quick because I'm looking at my Spotify playlist now. So
Okay.
when it comes to like rap, definitely Dom Kennedy. Big fan of Larry June. Killer Mike has been getting heavy play lately. R&B, one
Nice.
of my favorite artists is Eric Bellinger. Um,
Okay.
even though I feel a way about him singing, Blast is up there. You know,
Nice.
and not about Eric Bellinger, it's about Blast. Like I don't really think Blast is singing, but he's smooth. I said, let me pull up like when it comes to Afro beats, yeah, whoever I can find because I'm still learning a whole lot of stuff about that.
Yeah, for sure.
Um, yeah, Jazz Esperanza Spalding,
Yeah.
Ike, so RH Factor, Terrace Martin, Snarky Puppy. I'll be on all that too.
Yeah. That's dope. You have like a really, really wide spectrum. I'm kind of similar. I feel like since the pandemic, my music kind of got it like expanded in a lot of ways, but it also got smaller in a lot of ways because like I feel like I really, really hyper focused on certain genres. Like I kind of realized what I love the most and kind of found mad different artists within that genre that I like obsess over routinely. So for
Okay.
me, I have like a lot of passions, but for me, music was has always been my first one. Like I've always had a really, really good relationship with music. Music is very much like escapism for me. Like if you see me outside anytime, anywhere, I have my pods in, I'm listening to music. So I listen to just like
Facts.
you, I listen to a little bit of everything. I'm actually a manager of a music store. So music is also in my day to day constantly. I'm tuning cellos, tuning violins on a week to week basis, talking to kids about guitar lessons and all that good stuff. So for me, in terms of like musical artists that I'm really, really vibing with right now, I actually, like I said, I wrote them all down. It's a list.
Show me
It's
up.
a
All
list,
right.
child.
Appreciate that.
It's a list, child. Okay. So right now I'm talking Sabrina Carpenter. I really, really love Rina Sawayama, Beyonce, Ariana Grande, Tinashe, Saweetie, Megan Thee Stallion, Olivia Rodrigo, Billie Eilish, Tate McRae, Bad Bunny, Kali Uchis, Aaliyah, Charlie XCX, Pink Panthers, Ice Spice, Doja Cat, Snow Allegra, Summer Walker, SZA, some classics in there too, way more than what I'm listing here. But Whitney Houston, Celine Dion. My first love when I was a kid, like what made me really, really into music was actually funny enough, Britney Spears. She like yeah. When I was a kid, I was obsessed. I had all the concert DVDs. Yeah, it was a lifestyle. It was a
Dang.
lifestyle.
Was not expecting that one all. Sorry, I'm gonna
Yeah, when
have to
when I
adjust
tell
my
you my
mic.
music, when I tell you I'm a pop girl, I'm a pop girl at heart. Lana Del Rey, Brie Runway, Dua Lipa, Arya Starr. You were talking about Afro beats. I've been really, really getting into Afro beats as well. Tyla,
Yeah.
Rima, Chloe X Halle, Victoria Monet, Renee Rapp, Coco Jones, Janae Aiko, Janet Jackson. Probably like my favorite male rapper is Nipsey Hussle and J. Cole, FKA Twigs, Troy Sivan, Alina
Okay.
Baraz, Cardi B, Lotto, and Normani. Like, it's just simple
Woo.
things.
Simple. Yeah. That. I ain't gonna hold you. So I was thrown off when you said Sweetie because I was like, Sweetie.
Oh, me and Sweetie go way back. Like, I'm like, if you go back into the history books, the Sweetie lore, like I'm fan 001. Like I was like following her on Instagram when she was doing car freestyle raps. So yeah, yeah. And like a lot of it for me, like Megan the Stallion is like another artist that's like that as well for me. It's the journey. Like I've started with them when they were like rapping in college, just starting off,
Yeah.
didn't really know what their next meal was gonna be. And you watch that journey and like now you see them now. It's just like that's so cool to me. It's like I think it's possible, you know. I
All
think
right,
it's
that's
possible.
valid. And
But I
dang.
know, I know, I know Sweetie has a rep. I know her Sweetie has a rep, but that's my girl. I love Sweetie.
Hey, she need fans somewhere because I'm coming from over here.
That's
Hey, but I
fine.
feel
That's fine. That's fine.
it.
That's fine.
No, but that's
But
valid. Let me see. Yeah, Iris Star, she's fire. She actually had my favorite song of all of 2023. Cause
Rush.
no, no, no. Ogororo. I
Oh, okay, okay,
oh
okay.
yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
I
I
know what
didn't
you're
say
talking
it
about.
all
I've
bad because
watched
they
it.
didn't say
Yeah.
it with an accent, but yeah,
Yeah.
that joint, which also consequently had my favorite Dreamville artist on it is Boz.
Oh, nice, nice. Yeah, I remember we were having some talks about Boz. So yeah, that's
So
awesome. That's
like
awesome.
the two of them together, and I'd be vibing because he be getting like some of the most. fire production for the songs he do. He's not the best rapper on Dreamville. He's not bad at all. Especially
Yeah.
when you introduce people like Jid and the often left out Luke. Luke
Mm.
is nice. Don't get enough love.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then what's my man's shoot, not Mozzie, but what's my dude? It's another rapper, but like he more street
Mm.
on
Oh,
Dreamville.
Jid.
Kaz.
Okay, okay, okay.
Kaz.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, so I like all them, but yeah, Boz when he come through, like he gets really fire production that oftentimes blends like a lot of jazz and especially like
Yeah.
acid jazz or like R&B and Afro beats and never misses. Like even one of
Yeah.
my favorite songs from him is him and Lion Babe together.
Oh, okay. I don't think I've heard it. Honestly, I need to like I feel like in the past year I kind of like fell off from like a lot of like male hip hop artists. I haven't really been listening as much. So I feel like you can kind of give me like the cheat sheet. Like don't listen to this album, listen to this one, you know? That's what I'm going to be looking to you for cuz I love 21 and I haven't heard 21's new album yet. I heard Red Rum, but I got to listen to the full album.
The album was actually pretty solid. I was proud of him. I was definitely
Okay,
proud of him.
okay. Okay.
He's been improving a lot since Issa.
Nice. That's good to hear because I like from the Drake collaboration album. That's kind of when I was like, all right, I'm gonna give 21. I'm gonna give 21 a break.
Yeah, it's it ain't his fault. It's Drake's fault. And this also hurts to say because I ain't said I thought about like Spotify. I've been using Spotify since like 2011, back when like you had to get invited to use Spotify.
Oh wow,
And
yeah, yeah,
yeah, and so I remember talking about like my favorite artists like of the year, but let alone like the favorite artists of like the decade, basically from like 11 to like 19.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Um, and then it also like gave this weird list like in 2021. They talk about like your day ones. And so I know like some of my day one artists were like Kanye, Logic,
Makes sense.
Drake for sure. And like I was in like the top like 2% of like all Drake listeners at one point.
Oh wow.
Was in like the top like 1 or 2% of like Kanye listeners, and was definitely like the top 1% of like Logic listeners.
Oh
Like,
wow.
yeah, well,
So
Logic
so
first.
oh yeah, 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 for
You
sure.
said what now?
Before the I forget the Tan album cover. That's kind of like the museum. That's the Suicide song. Like that Suicide song. Like once he made that crossover to mainstream, the music sonically
Oh,
changed a bit. Sonically things changed a bit.
you
But
talking about Logic?
yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, Logic. He's fallen off in recent years. A big part of it is I think he just got a little complacent, and he was able to make music, but that's like neither here or there. But
Yeah,
ultimately, like I was on mixtape Logic. Like Logic has flows. It was beyond speed, but like he had flows and he had bars, he had beats. Like he was
yeah,
hungry. Like anything where they talking about like Rat Pack, like the Bobby Tarantino, like those
yeah.
joints
About yeah, in
go
the Bobby Tarantino era.
hard.
Yeah,
When he dropped Under Pressure in 2014, like I was under pressure. You know what I'm saying? In real
yeah.
life, like that album got me through. And then when he dropped what's my joint? Um I'm looking at his discography now because I'm trying not to like forget the name of it. But it's the one I had Black Spider-Man on it.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. It's been
That's
a
crazy.
good
Like you're like rejogging my memory because I haven't thought about Logic in so long.
like that's why it was everybody went super hard. And then the incredible true story. That one had that one was crazy. So my favorite song off that was called Stainless.
Mm.
Stainless was so cold because the whole premise was like he's saying like y'all came up this way, like y'all ain't have any blemishes on you. You ain't have to come up from the dirt. You know what I'm saying? Y'all had
Yeah.
silver spoons, like we had stainless steel. Like it was like multiple flip, and I mean the he that song Stainless when that album dropped in 2015. that literally was in my top five listened songs for 5 straight years.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I played it that
I
much.
have to re-listen to that album. I have to re-listen to that album because I remember that whole era. Like I was following him. I remember when he did that interview with Neil deGrasse Tyson. Like I remember that whole Logic era. Like right before he dropped the Suicide song. I feel like then like the memery began, and then the Suicide song kind of became bigger, like bigger, larger than life. And after that, like the music sonically, everything kind of changed. But
For
something
sure.
that interested me, you said that in your top three for Spotify, one of them was Drake. Are you still a Drake fan?
I'm still a Drake fan
Okay, okay, okay,
overall, but
okay.
I'm not a fan of what he's dropped in recent years.
That's fair. Are you a Views fan?
Nah, not at all.
Okay, I'm a
Not at
Views
all.
fan. I'm a Views fan. It's not my favorite Drake album, but I feel like it gets way worse of a rep than what people because
Let me pull this up, see what's up on this.
yeah, there are some songs on there but I was also in college when that came out, so it's a very very nostalgic album for me in a lot of ways.
I mean,
So,
I feel you.
but if you had to ask or introduce the younger generation to your favorite artist, which album would you tell them to listen to?
Okay, so if I had to give, so let me pick five. Like, if I had to introduce them to one of my favorite artists or my favorite artist, if it was, let me see, if it was Kanye, I'd tell them to listen to College Dropout for sure. I
That's a
think
good one.
College Dropout is perfect.
Mm-hmm.
If it
Perfect
was
album.
Drake, this is so unfair because I first got introduced to Drake listening to Comeback Season.
Yeah, that's very
And from
fair.
Comeback Season to So Far Gone, it was a switch up. And then from So Far Gone to like Thank Me Later,
Comeback
like,
season's the one where he's got like the fall background, right?
yeah,
Yeah, like my
like,
cousin, like my cousin, she was just getting into him, and I was like, "Who are you playing
like he
from
was
to the
really just
backseat?"
straight spitting. He just
Yeah,
came, it was like, yo, you next. And then
yeah.
he started doing like more singing, and it was like, you please stop. You know what I'm saying?
I like singing Drake. I like singing Drake, but I feel like that's good though because we have two very different perspectives so far.
Woo. All right,
I like
so
singing Drake. I like singing Drake.
okay, hey, he has his place. All right, so I'm gonna say College Dropout for
Okay.
Kanye, um, for Dom Kennedy. I'm gonna say the original Dom Kennedy mixtape is like so fire. But if we actually have to go with studio albums, um, I say from the West Side with Love too.
Okay.
That one's a super fire studio album. Yeah, from the West Side with Love too, or Get Home Safely. Both of those are really solid. I'm so biased fan because I was about to say, but Rap and Roll was really good too. Okay, yeah. So anyway, let me see who else. If I say on some jazz stuff, Snarky Puppy, you definitely got to listen to Family Dinner Volume Two.
Okay. Okay.
That was a live recording. That one goes super hard. For Eric Bellinger, I love the series Eric B for President. So
Oh.
part one or part two, both go hard. Songs like um, On My Mind goes extra hard. Then he got like really upbeat like bops like Naked in the White House, which sounds funny by title, but it's actually it's such a bop. It's like Naked in the White House. Naked in the White, hey, naked in the White House. Yeah, I'm trying to think of some other genres. I guess I go on some rock stuff. Stadium Arcadium from the Red Hot Chili Peppers is a good joint.
Yeah.
If I go classic rock, Physical Graffiti by Leonard Skinner, it's one of my favorites. Um, Classical, Gustav Holst, The Planets Suite, my favorite classical suite ever.
Okay, okay,
All
okay.
right. One of
You
one.
gave them a nice array of albums to listen to. So
Yeah,
the
I go
listeners
on all
have
day.
some
So,
homework. The listeners have some homework. For me,
oh, oh
for
yes.
me, I'll I'll pick I'll pick one. Uh I'll say that for me, like if currently right now my favorite musical artist is would probably be SZA. Like I check every single week like my algorithm and stuff. SZA's always my top artist.
All right.
So it's like, you know what? So I would say that probably the album that you would I would recommend is Control. I feel like Control
Mm.
sonically, conceptually is a perfect album for really anyone in their 20s. Like anybody, like any young person that is going through things or maybe is coming out of things or having any transitions in their life. I feel like that album is so good at validating your emotions and making you feel seen. I can't get enough of that album. I listen to it like routinely. So I'll say SZA Control.
You like toxic music.
Toxic music. I listen to everything.
You couldn't even deny that one. All right, that's cool.
I listen to everything. I listen
Hey,
to everything.
I'm not judging.
Because I mean, at the end of the day, when you think about it, Drake be
Mm-hmm.
saying some for the dogs.
No, Drake is definitely
Let's
Drake
be
is
serious.
corny and toxic. Drake is
That's
definitely
true.
corny and toxic.
That's true. That's true.
I think because he's so corny, he does extra toxic stuff to hide the corniness, and then it just gets even
That's
more
fair.
toxic. And it's like, yo, this is a
That's
bad
fair.
cycle, bro.
Yeah, but I feel like for
But
SZA, I feel like it's not necessarily like owning to toxicity. I feel like it's speaking from a place of vulnerability and being
that's
like,
real
has
though.
anybody gone through this? Does anybody relate to this? Has anybody been in a relationship or lost themselves in something? You know what I'm saying? So
That's valid.
it definitely can be toxic. Oh yeah, but she also has like a lot of spiritual sit down and meditate type of music as well. So
Okay. Well,
I'm gonna say
and I say this
Control.
in fairness. Um, if we talk about stuff that I'm listening to currently, because I listen to a lot, I always listen to an album straight through. But if I had to pick like one album that I'm currently just rocking with front to back, um, Killer Michael. That album is
Mm,
just golden,
yeah,
golden. He
yeah,
gave us one, and when I talk about an album that I can relate to on like so many subject levels, um, Down by Law, Scientists and Engineers, like those two just those different. Those are
yeah,
different. So
yeah.
yeah.
Dope, 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 dope. Okay, so that's just a little bit to get us for you guys to get to know us a little bit better, find out our musical taste, see if you have a couple like-minded choices, and then
Mhm.
maybe we'll create a connection based off of that. So let's move on to our first segment. The first segment is called What's the 411, named after the debut album of my girl Mary J. Blige. A lot of the segments are going to have fun names like that. But this segment is basically talking about current event news and anything that popped off this week. So something that Chris actually brought to our attention, and I feel like will be a really, really good would really be a good discussion, is something that Nelly said in an interview this past week. So,
Mm.
uh, just to read the headline, Nelly claims the 2000s was the toughest era in hip hop ever. When I put out songs, I had to go against DMX, Jay Z, Eminem, Lil Wayne, 50 Cent, Luda. All of us are going for that number one spot. So I feel like it's a good discussion, but at the same time, I don't really disagree with him. I don't necessarily disagree with him because music back in the music from 20, I would say like 2000, probably like maybe like 15 and before, is completely different. How you market, how you present the music, how you everything, how you
Yeah,
like
for
everything.
sure.
So and plus they were going off pure sales. We are now living in the age of streaming. So a lot of times when these artists were going number one, they were going number one because people were going into their local stores and asking if that album was available. They were picking up that CD and picking up physical copies. Whereas now it's things are a little bit different. All the splits and stuff like that, we don't really see the pure
Yep.
sales as much as we used to. So I agree with what he's saying. I do you think that it has something to do with the caliber of rappers that we have today?
I think
Like,
it's a blend of the caliber of rappers. It's a blend of the state of business in the industry,
mm-hmm.
and like in terms of consumers, and it's a blend of the state of the industry in terms of like the business and the companies.
Yeah,
Like growing up, it really was a major thing to be on TRL,
yeah,
to
yeah, yeah,
be
yeah,
on VH1, to be on BET. Like you had designated markets, and especially if you were like on BET and you did rap and you were able to cross over to a TRL market, or you had like a smash hit that was so big, top 40, and it hit like VH1 as well. It was like, oh shoot, this is major because that was your marketability. Like
yeah.
we
Facts.
didn't have Instagram, we didn't have TikTok, we didn't have, like YouTube came out my junior year of high school. It came out like '06, right? So
Mm.
like back then we were still trying to figure out like, you know what I'm saying, what all you could really use YouTube for. So you ain't see like just random ads popping up between videos or whatever. Like there was no Vine, like Twitter was like not a thing. So
Yeah,
when you ended up putting music out, like you had to like crack a very, very big stage. And when people bought albums, they didn't really know what to expect. Oh, I hear one
yeah,
single on the radio, I see a video that's lit, and you could have like 10 other tracks that's just straight garbage. You couldn't cherry pick. But at the end of the day, because your single was so fire, you just had a million people buy your album. Now the
yeah.
way things are set up, like I can hear a snippet here, a snippet there. I don't got to worry about the label advertising. It's like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? It's too
Times have
easy to
changed.
like, yeah. So
In
it
a lot
is
of ways
like,
it's good, but in a lot of ways it's also bad because I feel like that
yeah,
that organicness is gone. But it's been replaced with, in a lot of ways, like engagement being like the new organic. Like, for example, there's been like numerous different artists over the past years who have caught traction on SoundCloud, or a snippet on Twitter went viral. Whereas if they were trying to do that in 2005, I don't know if they would have been able to market themselves in that same exact way. You know what I mean? Like they don't
yeah.
necessarily have to have a label behind them to get popping
So
anymore.
yeah, my bad.
Oh, you're good. What were you gonna say?
No, I'm saying it's bittersweet. I love the accessibility for like a lot of new artists because
Yes.
labels were definitely gatekeep. There
Yeah, 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 yeah.
plenty of talented people that got their songs stolen, got their ideas and songs shelved,
Oh yeah.
collaborations that didn't happen, all because folks are so like focused on money and having the ability. Like me and my cousins, right? I started rapping when I was 14, and like we were trying to copy artists that we seen on TV and like stuff that we listened to, and then we would go like in the basement and record and like self like mix and master, trying to teach. Yeah, for real. Like I used to have my moms drop me off at the Guitar Center and be
I
like,
love
"Yo, I
that.
just be in there for like 2 3 hours learning how to like DJ for free." You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like learning how to use the programs, GarageBand, like Fruity Loops, Reasons, all that, like to make stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because it was tough, and you wanted to have like this top product that could like crack these barriers. Nowadays, you can have somebody produce like a really good product at their home, then they can release it. You can just go viral, build traction, and you solid.
Yeah.
At the same time, you got a lot of trash like music that's out there that can also get through and go viral, and it
Yeah.
kind of waters down like folks who are really good. So it's
But I also feel like in a lot of
hurts.
ways it kind of weeds out people because that trajectory, it's overnight. So when you get on that stage and it's time for you to do those live performances, when it's time for you to do the media training and talk to people, you're going to see where the people who have that artist development versus the people who don't. You know what I'm saying? So like a lot of times you see like a lot of people saying, "Oh, this person needs to go back to dance camp or whatever the case may be, go back and get singing lessons or whatever the case may be, and they come back 10 times stronger." Or they let that pressure get to them and then we don't necessarily hear from them again. So
So
it's very interesting. It's a very interesting time.
I got a controversial one for you. I wish
Mm.
we had like a siren or a flex bomb or something for this. So Hey, this gonna get real. All right, put your seatbelt on. First things first. I love music.
Yeah.
Secondly, I love the art of specific genres. I love those genres. I love the art of it.
Mm.
Um, the 2000s was also different because I think the state of society was in a completely different mindset. As a consequence, I do think that there are two things that have watered down hip hop right now.
Mm.
Oh, this is gonna hurt to say. I don't know how to say it other than to say it. I think let's put hyper in front of this. Hyper feminism
Yeah.
has watered down the state of hip hop because I'm a feminist. I definitely support feminism by all accounts.
Yeah.
I think like the hyperactivity of it has done some damage. And then I also think again like the lack of gatekeeping um to
No, for sure.
some degree. So it's
Yeah.
like yeah, because like I love like women rappers, but it's like man, we had like Bahamadia. We had like Eve like killing it. Like when we had Foxy killing it, like when we had Lil Kim still spitting, it's like it's not that they didn't have like sexually charged lyrics, but it's like, yo, every song I hear nowadays, it's like my pussy this, my pussy that. And it's like, yo, I ain't even trying to hold you. Like, I don't recall a whole bunch of songs from like dudes, and every single single is like my dick this, my dick that.
Yeah. But so while you're saying that, I feel like while you're saying that, I actually feel like gang violence and for me, for example,
I knew it was coming.
I feel like male rap has been very stagnant.
That's valid.
I feel like male rap has been in the same place and for a lot of those reasons, women rappers are more marketable. They're on stage actually showing stage presence. The past
It's
couple of
showing
years,
stage presence now.
the past
Ooh,
couple of
we.
years, past couple of years, I'm not gonna lie, besides Offset, nobody's doing anything on the stage. It's a whole lot of,
I ain't gonna hold
I'm
you.
not paying $500 to see that. I'm not gonna hold you. I'm not gonna hold you. But I understand what you're saying because I do definitely feel like hypersexuality and hyperfeminism has definitely created like a hyper individuality amongst women. And because of that, it has kind of saturated the market in a lot of ways. But
Mm-hmm.
at the same exact time, I feel like it's important because women have never really had that opportunity in hip hop and to hold that space the way that they do now. Like, for example,
Real.
you could talk about hyper femininity and hypersexuality, but I feel like Megan the Stallion is like the perfect example because she's a stallion. She's 5'11, she's sexy as hell, but she's college educated. She has a personality. She's not just out here you see her in the club, but you also see her watching anime. You see her talking about financial literacy. You see her in numerous different places as well as being on commercials. Those lyrics and the things that she's saying hasn't stunted her growth. So I feel
But
like it's more so a conversation against switching it up, just allowing it's not gatekeeping and allowing that door to be open because we do have dope women rappers who are conscious, like Rhapsody, but not a
yeah.
lot of people give her play.
No, I mean that's
That's
real. That's
that's not
real.
you know what I'm saying, because like at the end of the day we do have conscious women rappers. It's just that for some reason they're not popping off in the same way.
So it's tough because okay, so what makes it so tough is like you're saying like everything that's super valid, but then like it all like the saturation, like it really does inhibit a lot of things. That's what makes it tough.
Yeah,
Cause
and
like
that's
cause
fair.
I got in arguments with my homeboy, like one of my best friends about this. He's like a Meg fan. I'm like, I'm straight. He like, bro, Meg cold. And I was like, all right, name some like songs where she just really spitting outside of like talking about getting smashed. And he like can name like a couple. And I'm like, that's what I'm saying. I've seen her freestyles. like
Yeah.
multiple times. Like she can actually spit. She got flow. She got presence. She got the
Yeah.
voice. She got cadence. And then it's kind of, here's a good example. And I don't know if enough people listen to this dude to understand the point that I'm about to make.
Hmm.
Megan the Stallion to rap is like John Mayer is to pop.
Explain.
That's a bar. I
Explain.
John Mayer, quite frankly, is one of the coldest modern day guitarists that exists. Point blank, period, bar none. It's not even up for debate. John Mayer is outright nasty on the guitar. He is soulful as all get out. He can shred. He knows a ton of music theory, but a lot of people don't know that. They know
Yeah.
John Mayer for the sappy stuff, the slow stuff, and a couple of songs that he
Yeah,
put out
but
on the pop charts. But see, I know
yeah.
John Mayer as a blues artist. I know
Mm-hmm.
John Mayer as like a classical like rock artist, like 60s, 70s types rock. Like, um he's like almost a clone of Stevie Ray Vaughan. But a lot of people don't know that. And John Mayer himself, he said it best himself. He was like, man, I'd really love to play like this stuff all day, but Poppins was gonna pay the bills. It ain't no
Yeah.
different than when Jay-Z said, truth be told, if lyrics sold, I'd probably be lyrically Talib Kweli. Truthfully, I want to rhyme like common sense, but I did 5 mil and I ain't been rhyming like common sense.
Yeah.
Because Common's old name used to be common sense. But it's like Jay was like, yo, I love to rap like this, but like, man, this drug rap is what's selling it. So that's what I'm finna do. And so I get it. I think Megan got the talent to like expand in so many different lanes and avenues, but it's like because you do look as good as you do, and you do have the credentials that you do, you just gonna keep on milking this lane because people gonna support it. They gonna gas queen and snap, snap, snap
Yeah.
because you thick and
But
you can like touch yourself, and it's like sex is gonna sell every time.
yeah, but I don't think that necessarily the only thing that Megan sells is sex.
No, I don't.
Be, let
I
me,
don't think
yeah,
it's the
but no,
only
but
thing, but it's
well, of course, of
primary.
course. Yeah, for sure, for sure. But the thing is that I feel like that's also the beauty of being a woman. And I feel like a lot of it comes with, I feel like a lot of times when you're listening to male rap and when you're listening to male hip hop, I feel like when Cardi B dropped Bodak Yellow, there was a real shift in people's consciousness of like, women enjoy sex too.
I mean, for
That's
sure.
a concept, like
And it's taboo for y'all
people's
to talk
minds
about it.
were, yeah, exactly. And people's minds were blown by songs like WAP, which is why I feel like are they child appropriate? No. Which is why whenever people would bring up those type of conversations, it's like, why are we even talking about this? Because obviously, no, it's
Right,
not
right,
child
right.
appropriate. But I feel like for women and voicing our opinions and being able to be unapologetic and loud about it, I feel like that is important.
Oh, for sure.
And like a lot of the music that Megan has, like for example, I feel like you should tune into this upcoming era that Megan is doing right now. Cobra and Hiss, those two songs, like especially Cobra, because Cobra is essentially talking about shedding, going through depression, having a lot of suicidal thoughts, going through so many different things and shedding that skin and coming out a new person, essentially starting a new era, basically. So I feel like, yeah, she's still talking about her body and she's still talking about how sexy she is
Oh, for
because
sure.
period.
I
because
mean,
because
they
yeah.
they exist. They don't go away because you got depression.
Exactly.
I
So
get
I
that.
feel like
That's
I
valid.
feel like you should definitely give this new Megan era a shot because I feel like she's gonna give us a treat with this upcoming album.
I'm gonna try. I am gonna try because like I had such high hopes, and I was just like, man, once Meg dropped her first EP, and then City Girls came out at the same time, and it was just like, yo, y'all got some fire production, but like every song is the same thing. It's like all y'all came out with McDonald's, Burger King, and Wendy's, and you looking at like a Big Mac, a Whopper. You know what I'm saying? It's just like
Yeah, I feel like, but
y'all the
I understand where
same
you're.
sandwich.
I understand what you're saying, but like I feel like the same exact thing could be said for Lil Baby, Lil Durk, like all.
Oh
You know
no,
what
I
I'm
feel the
saying?
same way about them. It ain't no like
Yeah.
for me, it ain't man versus woman. It is like content. But I feel like when women ended up getting this lane because of the response that they have received for so many years prior, it was like
Mm-hmm.
a polar response to or reception. It was a polar
Yeah.
response to the reception that they received. And usually when things are like polar, it's like night and day for real. So it's
Facts.
not to say like, hey, women, y'all can't do this. And then it's like, now you can. And it's like easing on in. It's usually like a rush. And you tend to
Mm-hmm.
have to saturate something till you level out. And I feel like we getting there again because again, it ain't that like Lil Kim. Lil Kim definitely talked about sex. Missy Elliott was super graphic, but she was also
Yeah.
very expansive. So it was
Yeah.
way more than just sex that you heard. Like same
Yeah.
thing with Foxy Brown, same thing with Eve. Like
For
then you
sure.
still had your Mia X's, you still had your China Whites. Like
For
China
sure.
White probably had like the hardest verse on Bia Bia. She literally started off the verse and said China White don't suck no dick or lick no nuts, and then started talking about some of the most gangster stuff for the rest of the verse. And
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah, 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 yeah.
let's
But
go.
for
That
me,
joke is crazy.
I feel like Megan is in that lane. Like I feel like you need to give her because yeah, she talks about sex, but I also feel like because of the fact that a lot of the women today have that Lil Kim model, where it's like back then it wasn't necessarily like a
Yeah,
lot of women didn't have that, where it was kind of like I came from where I came from, and this is how I'm coming. This is how I'm presenting myself. Lil Kim was really the first person to be dressed by designers, sitting first row at fashion shows, at like people dying to dress her, showing off that sex appeal. I mean, everybody knows the iconic story about her, the poster, and being in like all the jail dudes' rooms and stuff like that. I feel like that essentially created that mold, that mold and that blueprint. So I
I
feel
mean,
like
I
a
feel
lot of
with
the
that.
time, yeah. So I feel like a lot of it is that women nowadays, women rappers are sexy. Like they are
No, that's.
sexy. You know what I'm
I
saying?
mean,
Like
and they should be because they genuinely are, and artistically, it's cool to express that. I just wish
yeah,
there were more creative avenues. Cause like
for
invasion of
sure.
privacy, when I heard Invasion of Privacy, I was like, oh, this finna win the Grammy. And I don't know hating stuff. I was like, yo, I like this album. I was
Yeah,
literally
yeah,
riding through
yeah,
the
yeah.
city bumping Invasion of Privacy because it actually had a variety of things. And then it's
To
like,
talk about.
yeah, but then every song after that, it's kind of like, all right, like what we going with now? Like when Meg dropped Big Old Freak, like that beat was crazy. And
Yeah,
like how she just wrote the beat, I'm like, cool. But then everything else is kind of like Big Old Freak with a different beat. And it's like, all right, bro, you hit me with that Taco Bell menu. We got a brand new menu with the exact same things with just a different price. And it's like, you thought I wasn't gonna notice this? I ain't gonna hold you. I'm
yeah,
gonna keep that same energy with everybody. I feel the same way
yeah.
with dudes too.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I I don't agree because I've also
That's
just
real.
feel like as a woman, it's been we went so long with getting nothing. With it was just Nikki. You know what I'm saying? So
Man,
now
but
it's like
what
you could pick so many different flavors, so many different people. It's a really a new time. It's really a new genre, like a whole new era for the women. And like I feel like a lot of the time people are saying like Joe Budden recently just said that women rap is ending, like the women rap wave, which I felt like was disrespectful to say because like women in hip hop
Ooh.
are not a wave. Women in hip
uh,
hop have been here since the beginning. So I don't know what he was talking about there. But
so I feel like that's a perfect mansplain thing, and I think I know what he was trying to say, but I
yeah,
gotta hear that segment.
I know what he was trying to say too, but I just feel like
Yeah,
a lot of times when it comes to women in hip hop, there's like a lot of policing. And I
valid.
100% understand that. But it's like, make sure that you're doing that with the other side as well. Because
Facts.
nobody's dying because of women hip hop. And I feel
No,
like
I
that's where I
mean,
should leave that. I feel
I'll
like
say
that's where I should
these.
leave that.
No, I'll say these things in addition and in support. I mean, society is typically chauvinistic, especially for males. I
Mm-hmm.
get that, so it sucks for y'all. And lastly, I want everybody to do their homework and listen to Jean Grey, Grae, Cookies and Comas.
Okay, okay.
Excuse me, Cookies or Comas.
Yeah, I'm
Then you
familiar with
understand
Jean Grey.
one of my standards.
Okay, okay. All right. I've listened to a little bit of Jean Grey. So
Bars. Bars.
yeah, so really, really good. But again, people aren't listening. So it's not that there's a dismissal of women who are rapping consciously. It's just that they don't have the engagement that's needed to get to the places that people like Lotto, Megan, and Cardi are at.
Valid. All
So I
right.
feel like that's what we should. Yeah, I feel like that's what that one was a good debate. That one was. It wasn't even a debate. I feel like we were agreeing with each other, but we were kind of just like
Yeah,
adding
different
points.
perspectives.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm with it.
yeah, yeah. So that was a good discussion. So all right, let's see where we're gonna head next. So I feel like that's good on what's the 411.
Now we can move into the next week. So we should talk about artists that we need to spotlight. I believe the segment is called Flashing Lights after
Yes, yes,
my
yes,
man
yes.
50 Grand, who has a whole lot of issues, Kanye.
Yeah, yeah. So this next segment is called Flashing Lights, as you
Whew.
said, after our guy Kanye West. So what's going on? Who's our spotlight for this week?
Um, we love this is tough. It's so many people. So many people. You know what? I'm gonna run an audible. At first I was gonna say Kanye, but I want to spotlight
It's
something
got to be
different.
somebody that we both know pretty well.
We both know pretty well. Um,
I want to.
okay. Do you listen to La Russell?
No, I not as much to have a discussion.
Oh, cool. Let's spotlight Boz. Let's spotlight Boz then,
Okay, okay.
because that was my guy. He dropped an album. Let me see the specific date on it. The album came out December 15th, 2023. In efforts to censor some of my language, he said, "We only talk about real stuff when we're messed up. Substitute the word stuff in mess, and you will get the proper album title."
Yeah.
So I've been waiting on Boz to drop for some years, straight up and down. He dropped this in December of 23. The last album he had dropped prior to should have been Milky Way, which came out in, I believe, 2018.
Yes.
And prior to that was Too High to Riot, which
Yeah.
that 8 year had whoa, Too High to Riot went hard, and prior to that was Last Winter. So I first got hip to Boz on Last Winter. I had just got like a new job. I had relocated. I was staying with my homeboy. He cut on music in the morning when he getting ready or something. And I just heard like this real dope like ukulele. Like boom boom then J. Cole comes in out of nowhere. My nigga just made bail. My nigga just made bail. And I was like, what is this? And it drops in like J. Cole started like Boz like had this real smooth flow. Then J. Cole gets on the verse with Boz and it's unfair. Like J. Cole and Boz linking together is like what's a
Chico.
good example? It's like Scotty and Mike, like for real. Because like
Yeah.
Scotty is nice, but like Mike is the star, but like Mike shine like because Scotty, you know what I'm saying? That's how they really set
Yeah,
each
nah,
other up,
yeah,
or really
yeah.
like Stockton and Malone. We know J. Cole finna come through, kill it every time. And you get set up real nice by like Boz with how he has like the production, the subject matter, and like a good verse that leads you into it that ain't boring. Um, then I heard Too High to Riot, which came out 8 years ago, and that should have won a Grammy.
Yeah.
Methanol, matches, clouds, like
Yeah,
rolling down the
it
slippery slope, but stay on point on tippy toe. And won't you smile? It gives me hope. Pray that you forgive me for it.
is.
Ah,
Crazy, yeah, crazy, crazy.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he needs way more love. Cause
For
like
sure. I
this,
feel like he's
this,
very underrated.
this is before like Ari Lennox was like even with the label, let alone like popping. Like we didn't know
Crazy.
about Lou. We didn't have Cos. It was like J. Cole, Boz, and like I think maybe like a producer or something. They may have like oh, I forget my name. Like Omen was like kicking it with him a lot, and it was like Boz really came in like wrecking, and he don't get no love
Yeah.
like he should at
Yeah.
least.
Do you think that it's because of he's like more so like conscious than other rappers today?
I do think it's subject matter because this stuff is by all accounts not gangster. He definitely talks about like some conscious, some introspective topics for sure.
Yeah.
Topics about self, topics about society, social awareness, but like he does it in a way that's like not on some like he need to throw on a kufi and have an
He's
ankh
getting on his
necklace or
soapbox.
whatever.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, he's just like, hey man, this is just some stuff I noticed. This is what it is. Like this is also real, and I'm gonna rap about it.
yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna talk about it. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. But I
Yeah,
respect artists like that, where it's like they're on a popular label. They have somebody like J. Cole under their wing, and it's like you could go that route to get popular, but you choose
yeah.
to rap about the things that actually matter to you and actually mean something to you.
So I feel like yeah, Boz is really one of those guys that if I had to compare him to a position in any sport, I probably like stick with basketball, and I would say he's like a modern day like small forward or power forward. And he's a guy that does all the work he needs to do. He gets the job done. He does it quite effectively, but he may not be the flashiest. He's gonna be
Mm-hmm.
that guy that's gonna get you, 15 points, gonna get you 10 rebounds, but like you wouldn't know it unless you check the stat sheet. And so I don't think there's anything that just necessarily pops about him. He has wonderful production. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
He
I see
has
what you're
good
saying. I see what
subject
you're saying.
matter, but like he didn't get the notoriety of J. Cole. He doesn't have like this really interesting rapid fire flow like Jid. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? He don't have like the soulful swooning, crooning sounds of like Ari Lennox. He just come in and he rap and then he dips, and you're just
yeah.
like, oh, okay, it's like insert generic black guy.
Why you two boss like that? On that
Cause
phrase just for a whack at the end.
no, I'm saying because like that's how it is. It's like he looks like a generic black guy. You see, like the fits he wear, he'll wear like a white t-shirt, a plain white t-shirt
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
and
yeah, yeah,
jeans.
yeah.
He
But I
got
feel
the
like that's
same.
that's the Dreamville. Like they're all very like I'm not the braggadocio rapper. I'm not here to tell you that I have the most. I'm kind of here to come as I am type beat.
I mean, if Boz was walking down the street in public outside of like New York City, like folks wouldn't really know who he was.
Pop him, yeah.
But there are
People
other
don't think
people
that
who
way.
might be like, what I'm saying, super like dressed down, and you still might know who they are. He's
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I don't want to drive this narrative home because I really like Boz, and I don't want him to like ever hear this and like not like me because I've been to bro concerts and everything. But like he is a generic black guy. He's like a middle 30s black guy with like relative social awareness and
Yeah.
musical skills with an afro,
Yeah.
surrounded by like J. Cole, Ari Lennox, and feature artists of the last couple of years, Jid.
Yeah.
Like, think about it like this. DJ Drama and Dreamville made a mixtape. How many Bob's verses do you remember? Exactly,
Yeah.
because he was on it. But you don't remember none of the verses. That's what I'm talking about, right?
When you put it like that, when you put it like that, when you put it like that, you put it like that. But
You gonna look at
do you think that Boz wants that mainstream appeal? Do you think
nah,
that he's looking
not
for
at
that?
all.
Okay, okay, okay. So you think that he's happy with where he's at right now?
Yeah, 100%. I think he's like content with like being able to be in this space. I think he enjoys being
Pocket.
able to have, yeah, yeah. Like I think Dreamville is like a really solid label for him
Mm-hmm.
because it's one of those things where it's like, yo, we just gonna let you be you. Like how many times has like Ari Lennox like talked about Dreamville negatively, talked about the music industry, said I hate this, I'm finna quit, and then J Cole was like, anyway, I'm finna show up at your show with flowers, and she's like, oh my god, thank you. He's like, I'm gonna give y'all space to just be y'all because this is
Be
life.
yourself. Yeah,
Yeah, you
exactly.
you go through this stuff, and I'm not gonna trip on it. I'm not gonna cut you, ostracize you, make a big whatever. Like we
Yeah.
all have stuff going on, and I will allow you to be human, and we're all going to work through it together. And I think like when you watch how his artists move, is the perfect example of like I will support you, I will give you a platform, I will give you a space, and let's just rock.
Yeah. Facts. Do you think that J. Cole's Dreamville is like the most successful? Because we've seen a lot of iterations of the artist run record label. We've seen Eminem have it. We've seen Kanye West. We've even seen Drake. Do you think that J. Cole has the best artist run record label?
It's close, close.
Because like there's way more horror stories than there
I
are success. I feel like.
I would venture to say, like, if we talk about current record labels, yeah, I'll say Dreamville. If we talk
Yeah, for
about like
sure.
within the last like decade or two, I'd probably say like the best one was probably Rockefeller, followed by Young Money, or it
Okay,
may actually
but
be, yeah,
because I always feel like there's gonna be, because you know that not everybody in Young Money made it, and of course not everybody's gonna make it, but you
for
know we
sure.
always hear like the things about the distribution of money, the splits. You don't really hear that in Dreamville. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody seems happy. It seems like J. Cole, there's actually a benefit of J. Cole being an artist who runs a
Well,
record label, because it seems like he sympathizes with the artist more often than not.
no, for sure. And I mean that's my thing, right? So I'm going on the site now just to make sure I don't mess this up. But prior to having gone on the site, like I remember, like we could say J. Cole, people know Ari Lennox, people know Jid.
Mm-hmm.
Some people know Boz. Not a lot of people know Boz. A lot less people know Luke,
Yeah.
and a lot less people know Kaz.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So like that's where it gets tough because like Luke is actually really tough. Like Oz is tough.
Yeah.
Omen is a phenomenal producer. You know what I'm saying? Like we said, Luda is smooth, and then there's Earth Gang. I think
Yeah.
Earth Gang have like they own lane, but it's like either you know Earth Gang or you don't. So it's
Yeah.
like the only ones folks bona fide gonna know is like Cole. You know what I'm saying? And then like Ari and Jid like got some popularity, and like that's tough. Like when you got what 8 artists, and
Yeah.
I bet you folks can barely name three.
Yeah. But at the same time, like I completely understand that. Are they releasing music consistently? Like Kaz,
Well, that's
Luke.
what gets tough. Like, I think Kaz has been on some features, but I don't think he's had like consistent music. Jid
Okay.
is Earth Gang just dropped the album. Luke dropped something about less than a year ago. Ari, it ain't no telling sometimes to be
Yeah.
honest. Omen, I believe, stickly strictly sticks. Well, I shouldn't say strictly, but like it's primarily production. He will
Okay.
rap because Omen was on like co-producer in one of like the he produced at least half of Friday Night Lights.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so one of the reasons I think Friday Night Lights is one of J. Cole's best work is because
Mm.
Omen produced a lot of the beats, not J. Cole.
Wow. Yeah, I feel like a lot of times like I like J. Cole when he's kind of letting other people do some of the cooking. You know what I'm saying?
That's the best J. Look,
Yeah,
this
you know?
we got to talk about this another segment, but I feel a way about artists producers.
Really? I feel like it's a perfectionist. I feel like when you're an artist producer, there's a real perfectionist
I
gene that you
feel it.
have, you know? And because
I
of
do.
that, there's always tweaking. The album's never done. You know what I'm saying? Like Kanye West will be up in the air on his way to the album party, still mixing. It's like, dude, leave it alone. Leave it
Hey,
alone. You know what
but
I'm saying?
but I feel it.
You
I have to be
sympathize. You
careful.
sympathize.
Yo, so like I had to be careful with this because like honestly, a lot of stuff Kanye be saying, I be understanding what he be saying. I'll be
Mm,
agreeing with a lot of stuff he's saying, but I'll be understanding like the ideology, like how he moves. But that's neither here or there for right now.
yeah,
In terms of like the tweaking and doing like I do that stuff. I do that with science. I do that with my music.
I'm the
Like
same way. Yeah,
but like Kanye gets it. He produces and then he produces. Lil
yeah,
Jon produces, then he produces.
yeah.
You know what I'm
Separate.
saying? J. Cole, I'm like, bro, all your stuff again. You hit me with the Taco Bell menu, big dog. All your stuff be the same BPM with just a different drum kit.
Oof.
Peep game. I've seen Cole in concert like 3 times. Cole is fire in concert, phenomenal energy.
Oh yeah,
But
I would love
like
to see
you
them
can
live.
pick multiple random songs and they're within the same BPM from different albums or the same album. They just got different drum kits. I feel the
Yeah.
same way about Big Crit. You know what I'm saying? I lived in Mississippi for a good minute. Shout out to Jackson State, my alma mater. You know, I've seen Crit in concert like 4 times. He do the same thing.
Yeah.
Um, that's why I go back to like Cole's best work was Friday Night Lights because Omen did different production.
Yeah. But I also feel like it comes with that comfortability, you know? Like I feel like when you're an artist who writes their music, produces it, I feel like it's like I have a certain way of doing it and that's how I like it done. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah,
stepping out of that comfort zone can be difficult
you got to
for
get
some
beside
people.
yourself.
Got to get uncomfortable. You got to get uncomfortable.
It's like, so it's like you think about the Black Album, right?
Mm-hmm.
Moment of Clarity by Jay-Z. Thank God for granting me this moment of clarity, this moment of honesty. I would not want to hear Eminem on that. But Eminem
Yeah.
produced it though.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
feel me? So like
Mm-hmm.
it shined better for Jay-Z than it would have for M if M like got on Moment of Clarity.
Yeah. It's
And
having
it's
that
like,
understanding what's for you and what's not for you, you know? What's your lane and what isn't.
that's it. That's it.
Yeah. But
But
closing thoughts on Boz.
um check out the album. Some of my favorite songs from so my number one favorite song from the album is Choppers.
Okay.
The how he comes into Choppers, his flows on it, the production. He lets the beat breathe. He has a really firm understanding of cadence.
Mm-hmm.
Choppers is fire. I say second favorite song is probably this is tough. I say my second favorite song was probably Black Jedi. So after like 1 minute in, like the beat switches up too, and it's like a different song, and it's like it's cold. And then my third favorite song is probably U Turn.
Okay.
So
Okay.
yeah, if
I'm
you
gonna have to
listen
check
to
those out. I'm writing them down.
yeah, like
Well,
that's
write it
them
down in
joint.
the show notes so that everybody can find
I
those songs.
got you. So yeah, check those out. They good to just like cruise with the top back on a sunny day, or times when I was back at the crib and I was sliding through Detroit. I just had it bumping, driving down 75, living my best life.
All right. I love that. So shout out to Boz, fantastic artist. Make sure that you guys listen to his new album. And yeah, so that's the closeout. Flashing lights. Now, let's move on to the next segment. We haven't really named this segment yet, but what is your album recommendation for the week? It can be an album or an artist.
It can be anything.
Yeah, I already know what mine is.
You go first because I got a couple
Okay.
ideas.
Okay. So mine is kind of both. I want you to check, like, I want the people to check out this artist as well as check out the album and even go back and check out the first EP if you guys love the album as much as I do.
Hmm.
Victoria Monet, Jaguar 2. Jaguar
Okay.
2 was my album of last year. I adore that album, produced by 8 Mile. Fantastic, fantastic, fantastic album. I cannot recommend it enough. I'm a huge like horns person, so and if you know Victoria Monet, you know that she love a horn.
I
She's gonna
don't
have a horn section.
really. I
Yeah,
ain't I ain't never listened to her.
yes, yes,
Like I know who she is, but I ain't just never really like peep her music like that.
yeah. Victoria Monet, she was a songwriter. She, really paid her dues in the industry, and then finally, I believe, like probably around the pandemic, she released her debut EP, Jaguar,
Okay.
and that for me, like that was my soundtrack through the pandemic. That and probably Positions by Ariana Grande, another really really great album.
Okay.
But that those sonically, Jaguar and Jaguar 2, I cannot recommend those two albums enough. Listen to it as well. I would love to hear your thoughts on it because I think that it is chef's kiss, chef's kiss.
Yeah.
So
Dang, you
Jaguar
got
2.
me thinking now. Oh, by the way, side note, while I was trying to pull up my playlist, I don't know if y'all can see this. In case anybody feel away, like I do be supporting. If it does it don't. Anyway, the album is Richest Baby Mama by Hood Brat. And
Ooh, okay,
Spotify was
okay.
like, new music for you, a recommendation. Because I be supporting people. I just don't hold
No,
nobody.
yeah. No, I respect your opinion. I respect your opinion. I think it's a fair opinion, and it's not one that's based off of like from a negative place. It's just a genuine
Oh,
critique.
for sure. So I'm going to what's been on repeat. Ooh, this is so tough. Gene, this is tough. All right. So I already gave Killer Mike a shout out and I gave Boss a shout out. So music of the week. Um all right, I got two. I gotta give you two. All right.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
First one, Pabst and Jazz.
Okay.
PABST ampersand Jazz by
Okay.
Asher Roth. That was a mixtape that he dropped.
Ooh,
The
I
mixtape,
haven't heard that name in so long.
yeah, see, Asher Roth could really spit, but he got pigeonholed. So shout out to like he came at like that weird point in time where like we were switching from label led stuff to independent and like more streaming era, and you had like more control over it. So of course he had like the I Love College, and sadly like people looked at him as like a frat, party type rapper. But like
Yeah.
Asher really was like when he made that freshman cover, he was easily one of like the coldest freshmen. And so, like, that's when you got to hear him drop songs like Rick Smith's. That's when you got to hear him drop like Sarah Foie Gras with like Quentin Cranberry. Like, that's a mixtape,
Okay. Okay.
by the way.
Okay.
Like, that's when you got to hear Paps and Jazz, and he did stuff with like, 1500 or nothing, like on the production, like killing it. He did stuff with Cool Kids and Chuck English, killing it.
Dope. Dope.
Like one of the songs is called "In the Kitchen." He said, "Me and Chuck, we made this in the kitchen." Oh, real talk. We really made this in the kitchen.
That actually sounds familiar. That actually sounds familiar to me.
So yeah, I want people to like check that out.
Okay.
Dope
Yeah,
ish
we'll
is
have
like
that. We'll have that in the description for sure. All our song
for
and
sure.
album recommendations for the week.
And then
But
super last one, I gotta throw this one there.
yes, yes, yes.
Classic. We gotta throw some Dom Kennedy in there. All right.
Okay.
Gotta throw some Dom Kennedy in there.
Of
Go
course, of
ahead and
course.
listen to the original from the West Side with Love.
The original from the West Side with Love.
Yeah, I told him about the From the West Side with Love too. That's his album. From the West Side
Okay.
with Love was the mixtape that came out in like
Okay.
2010 because '09 was Future Street Drug Sounds, which was also really fire.
Okay, dope. So really, really good recommendations. I personally can't wait to hear some of them, especially the Asher Roth, because I haven't heard that name in so long. That's
Yo,
actually kind of exciting to me. So I'm gonna do a little bit of a deep dive this week, and I'll get back to you and let you know. Let you know.
I just added them to my playlist for the summer.
Yes, but also let me know what you think about that Jaguar 2 album because
For sure.
I'm telling you, yeah,
I I bet
yeah.
bet bet that
I
I'm gonna
I
listen.
also I'm excited. I'm excited for you to hear it. But I feel like we should. I think it would really be a good idea for us to have like a curation playlist, like a fans playlist that we could do maybe on
I'm
Spotify
with
or
it.
Apple Music. Maybe update it weekly with some of our song recommendations throughout the weeks. So I feel like that could be really, really fun.
You cooking right now? Let's go ahead and set that up. You know what I'm saying?
I try. We'll curate that, put our first songs for the week, and then we'll put that in the description as well.
Bet it up.
All right. I'm so excited. I'm so happy. I love talking about music.
Right.
Amazing first episode. Um, Obviously, make sure that you guys follow us and check us out on all our social media platforms. Also, make sure to follow the platform behind ours, OTS Media, at OTS Media Co. on all social media. Where can they find you, Chris?
Y'all can find me on Instagram. Y'all can find me on Twitter with the exact same name. It's literally the numeral one, followed by Chris Rob, all together. One CHRISROB. Holla at me. I'll holla back.
All right, dope. And then you can find me at Ash Benny on all social media platforms. I'm so excited to be doing this podcast with you week to week. It's going to be really, really fun. We still have to come up with like a little fun outro. Whoa, we got to workshop it. We
Um,
got to workshop it.
yeah. Um, I don't know. We figure it out. I was gonna say something to trigger Derek, but I don't want no smoke. So yeah, we just gonna work on the outro later.
Yeah, we'll workshop it. We'll workshop it. We'll workshop it.
For
But
sure.
that's our show for this week, guys. Make sure that you comment down below and let us know what you think of the music recommendations. And we're out. See you next week.
Peace.
Bye.